Alright, in this video I'm gonna do another toy, yet another toy example. I seem to be doing a lot of those lately. I guess part of the reason I do those is they're simple enough where you not have to worry about the actual code, and so you can just focus on the syntax and how that relates to one another. Hopefully when we get to the actual EOS smart contract development, it won't be so trivially easy. Well, I don't know, maybe it's trivially easy to me and not somebody who's never seen C++ before. So anyway, we're going to look at namespacing and the scoping operator. So let's open that file right now. So like a long time ago, I think it was maybe the first video, I said, hey, I'm gonna add this namespace standard thing. In the very first, I think it was the Hello World program, and that was because I didn't want to have to write this every time I wanted to print something out, right? I don't want to write these std : all over the place. So if you in C++, if you say, hey, using namespace, it'll just automatically search through the namespace and go, oh, he means this. He means this cout. I don't need to know specifically where in the namespace. I know he's already using that namespace, so I'm just gonna, when he types this, I'm just gonna add that : for him. And that namespace just comes with the C++ standard library. But it's just like the templates in the STL, you can write your own namespaces. And really all the namespaces, at least in my opinion, all the namespaces is like a collection of different C++ things, I guess you could say. They all work together and kind of do a similar thing, right? In the case of standard, one of the things that it's part of is the cout, right? It's printing things out. That's just part of the standard library. There's a bunch of other things that are in the standard namespace, but one of those things is standard. So again, I created this stupid little toy example, and in this one, I'm creating a namespace for tree. I don't know why I chose that. I guess because I was looking at trees out my window. But the point I'm making here is, like I said, it's just a collection of things. Really, you can put anything you want in a namespace. Here I've got a class that's associated with a namespace tree. That's a trunk class. I've also just thrown in a random function just to show that you can collect functions under the namespace and run those whenever you feel like them, whenever you feel like it. And then also here I've got member variables, and these member variables can be objects and anything your heart can desire. You can throw it in a namespace. So in this case, we're creating this namespace tree. It's got all these little goodies associated with it. Down here, this is where the magic happens, and this is the scoping operator that I was talking about with the cout, where I didn't have to do this anymore, right? I'm scoping directly into it. I think, and I might actually try this towards the end of the video, but I think if I type in using namespace tree, I won't have to add these scopes anymore, and it will just know which leaves I'm talking about. But anyway, here it's almost similar to a class, but it's a lot wider. The kinds of, like, you can put classes inside the namespace, so it's like one step above the hierarchy of composition. So here I've got this tree namespace. I'm scoping into it, and I'm getting the leaves, right? So here I'm setting the leaves to 10, printing it out just to show that we actually did in fact set these to 10. Here I'm saying there's a trunk object in the tree namespace, and I'm going to create a new trunk object with 10, I don't remember, external waters, I guess. Here I'm calling the drink water of the tree that or the trunk that I'd already created. I'm then printing that out. I guess what I'm doing here is I'm showing that I'm mutating this object that's in the tree namespace. And then I'm calling this tree random function just to illustrate you can put functions in the namespace as well. If we run all of this, actually, let's do that. Actually, I think this is in my history. Yeah, there it is. And if we compile, so it looks like we're printing out this trees variable that we set in the tree, or or the leave variable we set in the tree namespace. What else am I printing out here? 90. Oh, so I'm drinking the water. I'm setting the external water to 10. I'm drinking 10 of the water here, and then printing out that it's set correctly to the new thing, and then I'm calling this tree random function under the tree namespace where I'm printing out 0 through 9. So that's scoping and namespacing. So when you do see it in the EOS library, don't freak out. If I'm not mistaken, the current state of smart contract development, I think you wrap most of your smart contracts in their own namespace. That could be the old Dawn 2 and maybe not in Dawn 3, and by the time mainnet gets released and you're watching these videos, it could definitely not be true, but that's how it works now. Before I end this video, I kind of want to see if this works. So bear with me. Let's try this out and see if I can just access the leaves directly without scoping them. See? So it very much works the same way as the standard or the namespace STD, as I told you before. So in the next video, again, I'm going to be a little bit patient here, and I'm going to hold off diving into the EOS source code. So the next video I'll actually create will probably involve like a comparison between Ethereum and EOS. But the next video you'll be watching, I'll probably be diving into the EOS code specifically and just pointing out a couple of things here and there that I think are important to kind of look at from a C++ perspective. So see you in the next video.